The chair would move, or ask for a motion regarding the claims.
Yes, I would make a motion for consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $372,897.19. Manual checks in the amount of $16,983 even, for a total of $389,880.19.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, motion passes. Any other items before the Finance Committee?
I move we adjourn.
Finance Committee is adjourned.
7:01, would Councilmember Larson isn't here. Councilmember Peterson, would you lead us in the pledge? And Councilmember Hancock, would you do a prayer for us? Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we ask that it please help us tonight that we can have our minds enlightened as to the needs of the citizens of our fair city. We ask that it please help us that we can be aware of the things that we can do to improve our city and that we can be responsive to the needs of those who have discussed ongoing issues with us. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Would the city clerk please conduct a roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilman Lance Godey.
Here.
Councilman Tim Hancock.
Here.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilman Sean Peterson.
Here.
Mayor John Baker.
I'm present. I would entertain a motion to excuse council members Gibbon and Larson this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye, and the motion passes. I declare that we do have quorum with regards to the agenda this evening. We have item number 11 is a work session with the Planning Commission, and what I would like to do is move that to the end so that what we could go ahead and get our business taken care of and really close out the meeting, and then we could go over to the bullpen and meet with the Planning Commission, and we could sit around the table over there and talk about whatever it is we need to do, okay? And so if you don't mind amending the agenda in that way.
All right, so move that we approve the agenda with the changes already has been described.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Mayor votes aye. Communications from the floor. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council regarding an item that is already on the agenda will be given an opportunity to speak later on. I would ask those individuals who wish to address the council at this time to approach the podium and identify yourselves for the record.
Your Honor, Council, thank you. It's that time of year again, so I've got my balloon hat on, in theory. Just wanted to come...
Eric Carr.
Yes, Eric Carr.
All right?
Yes.
For the television audience.
For the television audience.
Okay.
Just wanted to come by and drop off this year's pin for the rally and a brochure with all of the balloons that we've got. We've got 21 balloons this year, 2 special shapes, Who's Up from Salt Lake City, Utah, and then Humpty out of Tennessee, I believe. Yeah. Kentucky, yeah, I knew it was down there south somewhere. So it's going to be a really fun and exciting event. I would also like to extend an invitation to judge sandwiches at the competition at the pilot tailgate party. That'll kick off at around 11 o'clock on Saturday, and that will be at the Fire Training Center. So if you're so inclined, please come down. It's a lot of fun. I know Councilwoman Gibbon has attended for the last couple years and definitely was excited to get another invitation this year. So with that, hopefully everybody has a fun and a safe time. I know the fireworks are still going to go off. I was in contact. I was a little nervous after seeing the announcement today, but we're good to go, so I think everything should be good. So, any questions? Great. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, thank you for coming in. Anybody else like to talk to us? Okay. Consent agenda. Would the city clerk please read the consent agenda items by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, June 29th, 2017, regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, June 29th, 2017, executive session. Approval of the minutes, July 11th, 2017, finance committee meeting. Approval of the finance committee recommendations for July 11th, 2017. Approval of the municipal court report for the month of June 2017. Approval of the discharged fines for deceased defendants for July 2017. And then we have several open container applications. The first one for Bighorn Co-op for July 12th, 2017 for a company picnic at Sunset Park from 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Bomber Sports Bar for July 14th, 2017 for the car show at 502 West Main Street from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Bar 10 on July 14th, 2017, car show at 114 South Broadway from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. The Boot Bar, August 5th, 2017 for a hospice fundraiser / poker run at 702 East Main from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. And the Boot Bar again on August 18th, 2017 for a parking lot dance at 702 East Main from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Are there any items that require further discussion?
Your Honor, the Finance Committee would present the consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $372,897.19 and manual checks written in the amount of $16,983 for a total of $389,880.19.
Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, and the motion passes. The next item is the consideration of ordinance 17-013, third and final reading, vagrancy. Would the city clerk please read the ordinance 17-013 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 17-013 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending Title IX, Public Peace, Morals, and Welfare, Chapter 9.08, Offenses Against Public Peace and Decency, repealing Sections 9.08.090, Vagrancy, of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 17-013 on third and final reading.
Your Honor, I would move that we adopt ordinance 17-013 on third and final reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
No.
I'll ask a question then, Chief. I guess what I notice in the paper occasionally is somebody is still being cited under that ordinance. And so I'm a little nervous about doing away with it. If it's a tool that you're actually using, maybe what we need to do is amend it so that it becomes, it's better worded and constitutional, or to cover, or maybe what? Do we need a new ordinance to cover that?
Your Honor, that's the plan. Myself and my administrative team have been looking all week at different panhandling that are specific to panhandling, which is what we really use the vagrancy law for. And so we are coming up with a panhandling ordinance that we feel it will fit Riverton better than this vagrancy ordinance.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a roll call.
Councilmember Sean Peterson.
Aye.
Councilmember Mike Bailey.
Aye.
Councilmember Tim Hancock.
Aye.
Councilmember Lance Scody.
Aye.
Mayor John Baker.
I vote aye. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, consideration of ordinance 17-014, third and final reading, railroad crossing and right-hand turns. Would the city clerk please read ordinance 17-014 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 17-014 on third and final reading. An ordinance amending Title 10 Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 10.12 Additional Traffic Regulations, repealing sections 10.12.010 Obstruction of Crossings by Railroad Time Limit and 10.12.130 Right-Hand Turn at Red Light of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for an effective date.
The chair would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 17-014 on third and final reading.
Your Honor, I move we adopt ordinance number 17-014 on the third and final reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I hear it. Did it again.
You didn't catch it.
We need a roll call.
I know.
City clerk.
Councilmember Lance Godey.
Aye.
Councilmember Tim Hancock.
Aye.
Councilmember Mike Bailey.
Aye.
Councilmember Sean Peterson.
Aye.
Mayor John Baker.
Aye. And the motion does pass. Okay. So the next item is, City Council Committee Reports and Council Members Roundtable. Mr. Peterson, have you got anything to report to us?
I do, actually. We hosted the second annual Battle of the Winds Lee Martinez Memorial Tournament this weekend. We had 14 teams from across the state show up. It was a great time. We had a lot of support, a lot of volunteers, but a lot of things I kept hearing from the people that came in is how grateful they were for the welcome they got into Riverton. Everybody at the hotels was respectful. We had some people camping down there at the ball fields. The police stopped in one night just to check to see if everything was right, see how things were going, and they said they got a little nervous because they weren't sure if they were going to get ran out of there, but they were just stopping in, just checking to make sure they're all right. So it was nice to hear that the city once again opened up their arms and welcomed in people from around the state to come and enjoy and have a good time.
Good, thank you. Mr. Bailey?
I have nothing this time.
Mr. Hancock?
No.
No? Mr. Godey?
I do have something to, I guess, bring up, and I've had some conversations with Courtney regarding, I don't know what the right terminology is, but condition of properties around town. I've dealt with one specific complaint in my ward, and I think there's been some frustration on multiple sides, and I'm not sure if maybe there's an opportunity to dig into that area with municipal code and see if there's some, or maybe it's just process, maybe it's procedure, I'm not sure. But I know the property owner that made a complaint to me has felt that it was a very long and laborious process to attempt to resolve the issue that they were dealing with a neighbor who had a property that was problematic, and it just seems to have been a very long process. Maybe that's the way it has to be, but I guess I'm curious if it may be worthy of some discussion at some point in the future to see if we can tighten things up a little bit, give better direction to help property owners that are attempting to, keep their property presentable and then ultimately sell their property when they have neighbors that are not keeping their properties presentable.
Okay. Do you suppose there'd be appropriate to have a work session on that? Or we could talk about code enforcement and...
Are you looking at me?
I am. I am looking at you.
I thought you were
Courtney.
trying to look around me.
No.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're we're not connecting today, are we?
Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I sent a question to Mrs. Albright, Rosie. She's been out ill, but anyway, I'd like her to put a timeline together of our process to examine really how much time is it from the time we receive the complaint to even if we have to issue a citation, what kind of time we're talking about. I think we can always become more efficient. I'll see when she can get that done, email it to council and see what you think, and maybe go from there, if that would be appropriate.
Oh, okay. Maybe we can just, maybe we can just do it that way. Get a report back from code enforcement. Okay? Let's do that. Okay?
And I would note, in the situation that I've been involved with, both Rosie and Courtney have been fantastic, very responsive. The police department I've spoken with, I mean, there's certainly very responsive, but, you know, I think still speaking in some respects from the property owner that made the complaint, they felt like it should go faster. Everybody should feel like it should go faster. But it may be that it could go faster. And I think that's a worthy discussion to just see if there is anything we can do in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor?
Go ahead, Mike.
And I guess something else to look into in that area would be, is there any statutory limits that we're dealing with that we have to give some notice or whatever, I guess, at the same time?
Yes.
I'm sure there is.
Speaking from experience.
Yes, I'm sure there is. So.
That's part of the issue, I think, with some of the speed,
Right.
is that you've got limits in there in terms of the ordinance.
Right.
But I think if Rosie can lay that out.
That would be very helpful to have that timeline. That way we're all kind of speaking from the same general thing.
Sure.
And she can even make some recommendations as to maybe this is an area that she could tighten up, or that there's an open area that something could be done. I'd love to hear from the professional who's doing the work as to whether or not she has some recommendations. Perhaps she's had some frustrations of her own.
Oh, I can't imagine that. Okay.
I have nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. City Administrators report?
Yes, Your Honor, I have three items. Another regular meeting next week. I know that we're a little off schedule, but hopefully next week we'll be on schedule again. I hope you've noticed city crews out striping, painting curbs, sprucing up the city. They're working very hard with limited resources and limited people. But, and we would like to be responsive to the public. It is almost the point we're going to have to hire an Eclipse executive, because we are getting a lot of questions and a lot of concerns about how we can get the community spruced up before the eclipse. So we are working on it, but if you're riding or driving around town and you see something, please feel free to email me and we'll get on it. It's hard to cover every street and every corner, but we'd be more than happy to try. Third is I have to apologize that the budget books are not out yet. It's because of me, not because of anyone else. I don't have the budget message completely done yet. So hopefully we'll get that out by the end of next week. We usually are not this late, but I think the 4th of July and people being out of the office has kind of thrown us for a loop. So we'll get back on that and get it to you.
Thanks, Courtney. Okay. Mr. Kitzler, have you got some business for us?
Well,
Or did you just come to
I
listen?
think you're already past me. Are you
Yeah, we did.
number 6?
No.
We did, yes, we're at item number 16. But if you came to tell us something,
All right. I'd be
tell
happy to.
tell us.
I just came from an Eclipse meeting downtown with people concerned that have businesses and so forth. And we're kind of a new group, but boy, we're getting a lot done. We voted that we're going to have our hours open on Saturday and Sunday downtown, and we'll have wares out on the street so people can shop. We've had people ask if they can have food down there and different things as well. I said, sure, as long as it's with the approval of the business owner's property there. And we know that we have to have walking space and all this, just like we do for Crazy Days and everything else. But right now, the first meeting, we had 20 people show up, not as big a crowd tonight. We've been meeting every Tuesday at my store, Jerry's Flowers and Things, and if any of you ever would like to come, you're sure welcome. We've talked about cleaning up downtown Riverton and making it more ooh-ah when they come into town, because people constantly, when they come in during the summer, comment on how nice downtown Riverton looks. And I really appreciate that because I know you guys spend a lot of time and effort to do that. But we've talked about the business owners pulling the weeds around the trees and letting you know if trees need to be trimmed and having clean windows. And there are a few businesses down there that could use a little bit of paint on them. We've also talked some of the empty buildings having products or displays in them so we don't look like we have empty stores. And we wanted to make it look more progressive, more exciting. We've also mentioned, and I've talked to you about this, about dumpsters, extra dumpsters downtown, because as people are buying food and cups and so forth, our dumpsters are going to fill up very quickly, just like they do for the car shows and so forth, and it can't be helped. So we may need some extra help there and some extra bathroom facilities. We thought about some over there on the block that you own on Main Street, back towards the alley, so that they're not in your face, but at least we could say, gosh, our restroom is not handicap accessible. You can use the ones across the street. We need to have some down there in a couple locations and maybe put the dumpsters by them so you don't have to take up parking places. And we're going to be putting out little sparkly things on the flagpoles so it looks festive at our expense and make it more exciting, hopefully. I'm working with Job Corps right now also, and we're trying to get the welding program to do sculptures, a competitive sculpture. And I said, they can't just be the little ones, but the ice sculpting is so well received in Riverton during the Winter Carnival that I'm trying to get them to do welded sculptures out of recycled materials. And we'll come up with some prize money if we can. Otherwise, I was talking to the director up there, and I said, let's put the two best ones, if they don't sell or something, on campus so we can motivate them for other years for other events. And they were really excited about that. I've gone up and spoke with them once, and I'm going back next week and talk to them from the art standpoint. You know, the old art teacher in me, you never hang it up. We're also looking into signage so that people can find where they can park a big RV downtown if they come down there, except on Main Street, like the city lot, or maybe we're just going to say behind the bank over there on the weekend. If they're closed, that would be a good RV spot. But we're trying to get some clearance there as well. Let's see. I just came from my other meeting. But the big thing is looking good and being proud of our community. And we are proud of our community. We were pleased with all the work you folks do. But we need to have some help, and we need to help you if you need our help. And we really got to clean Riverton up. We got a lot of junk vehicles in yards and trailers on the streets. And most places, Cheyenne now, are not letting you park. You can't park RV stuff or so forth on the street and trailers to clean up their streets. And with that much traffic in town, I think we need to encourage people to find a place to park them, even if we have to ask someone that has a field, can they park them during the eclipse so they don't get hit? But we're working to make downtown more attractive. I've talked briefly to Kyle and Courtney and kind of put them against the wall. The group up on top of the hill, they're planning big events. The general feeling is we don't know what's really going on, and I realize you probably don't either. We're all just kind of going by the seat of our pants. And we need to get some continuity and get it organized. I don't know who's really in charge of it overall, but right now it doesn't feel like anyone is really in charge. And I know all of you are in charge, but when someone comes to me and asks me a question, I just kind of fake it, to be honest with you, and get them on to the next person so that we can give them a good answer and not get them into trouble. I know Courtney and Georgia are working on the event in the park. We just need to be here to help you as well as we're asking you to help us. So you need to come forth if you need our help and say, hey, quit talking the talk and start walking the walk. And those of you that know me, and boy, my eyes are open all the time. I'm always complaining about snow or trees or flowers or some abandoned car. Right now on that city parking lot downtown, there's someone with a pickup for sale and it's got the for sale sign on it. And I know that's not legal. And we used to tell people they couldn't put garage sale signs on the posts of the nice light posts and stuff because of the tape, but we're letting that go. And so all your painting efforts and so forth are going awry. So things like that we do watch for. Can I answer any questions to you? Since I walked in late, I apologize. Be quiet and sit down.
That's okay, and Mr. Peterson and Mr. Butterfield are the chairs of our, co-chairs of our preparations committee.
Cool.
And the one thing that the city's tried to do is to make sure that the city is not in competition with business. So we've kind of sat back and let people try to decide what they're going to do. If there's somebody in the country that wants to have campers park on their place for $10 or whatever, or $50 or $100, we'll let that go, and we're not going to, have, camping inside the city. And yet, if we run into a situation where, there's no place for people to go, I think we're probably prepared to, to have people park in the ball fields and those places. There is some discussion, but I'm not sure where we're at on that, about some kind of public transportation. Mr. Butterfield?
Best I can tell you, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
28 July, we're going to have our next meeting. And I think we're trying to start getting to that point to where we're trying to focal everything together at that point. Jim Davis has really been working, trying to bring in all the events, along with Kathy. Courtney's been trying to help corral those two to get them to start. But I'm sure it's going to seem like there's nothing really, nobody knows what's going on until the day after it happens. And they're like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
Coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the mayor's absolutely right. We're doing everything that we can. The thing is that we just got to get people involved. We've had meetings, and sometimes we have 100 people show up, and sometimes we have 12 people show up. We did a thing out at the casino, and we had 100 people show up out there. And, so we're putting our foot forward, trying to give these people opportunity, but a lot of people are still, I don't want to say ignorant, but oblivious to it happening. I mean, a lot of people still like, is it really going to happen? I'm like, yeah, it's really going to happen. It's going to go in front of the sun. They're like, no, not the eclipse. The people come. I'm like, yeah, that's going to happen too. So I think they're both.
I agree with what you're saying. I've been to one meeting. I've had meetings, but I've only been to one.
Right.
But a lot of people don't realize this is open to the public, that we need the entire community's help.
It's been ran in the papers,
I know.
ran on Facebook. It's been short of walking out and handing invitations to every, maybe we should try to go to the.
There are a lot of people out there who have ideas, but they won't step forth. They have to be asked and asked and asked. Very, very much so. But we're here to help you if we can.
Thank you.
And as far as the transportation issues, we discussed that tonight and at our meeting. And then we also talked about the fact that the media seems to be covering Casper and Lander and kind of forgetting Riverton. So we need to address that a little more too. Okay, anything I can answer?
Anybody sitting here, so isn't that interesting? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, I'm sorry I was late.
We are really trying to think about all of those things.
Great, appreciate it.
All right,
Thanks for your help.
you bet. Okay. I don't think I have any comments this evening. The next item on the agenda is an executive session for personnel. And so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session and invite Ms. Bolander to come in with us.
So moved.
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're going to talk about personnel, and it's only going to take us a couple of minutes. When we come back from that, we'll adjourn, and we'll go to the bullpen to meet with the Planning Commission. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye. We don't have any action to take. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the regular council meeting. Oh,
Your Honor, council members, Kenneth Hansen, Master of Riverton Lodge Number 26, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of Wyoming. On this Saturday, July 15th, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, yes, we will be celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Masonic Temple, which is located at Main and Broadway. The Grand Master, Mark Mickelson, and other Grand Lodge officers will be there to rededicate the building for another 100 years of Masonic service here in Riverton. And as Masons, we strive always to improve the community in which we reside. On behalf of my lodge, I want to invite each and everyone within the sound of my voice to come out and help us celebrate this wonderful occasion.
good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Got it on my calendar.
Pardon?
I have it on my calendar.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, I would move that we convene into work session.
Second.
Okay.
We need to vote.
Oh, we moved to convene into, we need to vote.
Second.
I was just ready to
It's
leave.
already been moved in second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Somebody had said.